Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. One relic, two relic. It's a common problem that a lot of players have faced going into Smite 2. Going back to Smite 1, two relics. Beads Aegis, Beads Blink, Shell Sprint, Med, whatever it was. The game was bounced around two relics. Now in Smite 2, it seems like they're trying to change it up a little bit. Try how Smite 2 will feel with just one relic. Carries only getting access to Beads or Aegis. Junglers only getting access to Blink or Beads. Solos only getting access to Blink or Beads or Shell or Aegis or Sunder. They have a lot of choices, but I think it's helped the game a lot. I think allowing the game to be bounced around actives and buying actives to keep yourself alive, putting gold towards an item, I think it balances the game a lot more. But before I dive more into this subject, I got something I want to talk to you guys about. I'm running a tournament this weekend, tomorrow at noon Eastern, between a bunch of ex-pros, SEC players, 8 teams, about $1,000 prize pool. It's going to be starting tomorrow at 12. These are the teams. Let me know down below what you guys think about all the teams, who's your favorite. But also, in these sets, since they're best of 3s, bans carry over. So Snatty bans 2, Happen bans 2. Going into that second game, there will be 4 bans starting, and then you'll have to do 2 more bans. And if you do go to that best of 3 and go to that final third game, there will be 12 bans before you even start to pick. It's something that I've always liked doing. I think it adds some depth to the game. I think it's very interesting. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys come check it out tomorrow on my Twitch at noon. Also, a lot of these players will also be streaming their point of views if you care about that more. I'll be doing more of a red zone style. But enough about that. One relic, two relic. Let's see what we're talking about. So Tuba quote tweeted this tweet that says, I actually don't know what characters are supposed to do to live against Thor or bots unless you have 2 relics. Tuba said, it's begun. Return 2 relics to nerf the CC in the game across the board. The top percent of players will learn to play around it best they can, but the general player base will be miserable and get extremely frustrated because of how absolutely AIDS is. Then he says, I'm capping nerfing kit CC across the board. Probably isn't feasible at this point in development. I like the option of Beads, Blink, Aegis, Shell, please. Child. Now my point is, carry players are already complaining about CC before CC buffering on leaps is removed. I'm a big believer in CC buffering on leaps is good for the game. It gives, with how much CC there is in the game, and if I'm playing a backliner, me being able to react to something and then being consistent with that is more important than a frontliner being able to CC. And that's even me saying that as a frontliner. I care more about my carry's potential and ability to live through CC because there is a lot of CC in the game. You have to be able to maneuver past it. Being on time with your jump, but the ping being a little bit slower, that's bad. Not having consistency of, oh, I got my ability off first, I should be good. A little back and forth, but I think this is just good to provide context before I talk about my point just a little bit more. 2% is about the health of the game. More and more gods come in without the CC and their kits adjusted. The average thrower is going to get frustrated. 9.5 and 11.6 happened because people thought there was too much damage CC in the game. What do you think happens when it's the same -1 relic? Too much damage was my point. It wasn't too much CC, that's why. But this is kind of like the point that I have kind of staked why I think this. There are billions of knobs to turn in Smite instead of reverting back to a boring system where in the late game, it was nearly impossible to actually kill a carry unless you just completely outplayed them with pulling their jump and then pulling their beads and then pulling their Aegis and then the supports abilities and then also the supports relics and then also trying to avoid the other carries damage. It made it very, very difficult to play the game as a frontliner way more than it does in the current state with CC buffering being in the game. If you also look at a lot of carry builds right now, they're not itemizing to live, they're itemizing to output damage. Carry is the most insane role in the game currently, but if you know they're getting dove by a few characters that have CC, they don't itemize to stop it. They can go Aegis and then go Purification to Talisman. Yes, you're going to do a little bit less damage, but you'll have more survivability. They just don't really care to change up their build. They only care about DPS. Kazayam had a really good point. This is actually something that I thought of before, but I didn't state it originally, and I wish I would have. But carry players just love going 7 or 6 damage items instead. You could buy an active. Okay, maybe not worded the best, but basically going 6 damage items instead of buying an active that can help them out, which is completely true. There's a lot of survivability relics. Stampede if you're getting slowed a lot. Hussar's Wings if you're getting slowed also a lot, and you just don't care about the active. You just want passively to be immune to CC. You can go Xerxes Hexstone for the dash, the CC immunity. You can go Shoguns if you want a little bit more attack speed and you don't really care about, you know, having magical, the Talisman of Purification beads. You just want the Shoguns effect. You go Gargoyles, so when you're getting dove, you can silence the Thor and just try to one-shot him. There's multiple different ways you could buy an active to help you out, but it's going to drop your DPS just a little bit. And a lot of them can't cope with that. And I'm just thinking of a world where if Hi-Rez does add back 2 relics, they'll have to unturn all the knobs that they turn moving over to Smite 2. You'll have to nerf every single active in the game, because having a Beads Aegis backliner who also has Talisman of Purification, who also has Stampede, who also has, you know, a Gargoyles support peeling form, who also has the Khepri ultimate and Khepri 2, and then also has Shell, it makes it nearly impossible to deal with them. I think the more you play, also the more supports will realize, like across the board, because I think high level players do it really well. I mean, you go to like Microgenetics, they itemize their builds really well, thinking about how they want to peel their team out, or don't really care to peel, they just want to do something else differently. The average player is going to get better so that they can think about the actives they're going to be using. But yeah, that's how I feel about this 1 relic versus 2 relic debate. I think it's a lot more balanced with this 1 relic. I think actives help out a lot, having to itemize and actually spend gold to get these other actives that you want. I think it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. 1 or 2 relic, why do you think that way? And also, don't forget to stop by for tomorrow's tournament, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. I'm so sore. Peace.